Hi, let's talk about room acoustics and speakers. Every room tells a story, some louder than others. And every room has its problems and acoustic oddities. And as a home studio producer, it can be a real mess figuring out how to improve the room acoustics. For years I was very hesitant towards room correction. Would it really work? But today we're going to try out the iLoud Precision 6 Mark II from MKII Multimedia. Since about a year back I've been using the iLoud MTM MKIIs. The really great thing about these speakers is that they have built-in room correction. And as you can see, it's quite a big step from the MTMs up to the bigger cabinet of the Precision 6. The Precision 6 features 150 watts of amplification, and it's a 1.5-inch tweeter and a 6.5-inch bass. So tag along and let's take a look at upgrading from the MTMs to the iLoud Precision 6. First, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Quick disclaimer, this is a sponsored video by MKII Multimedia. That said, they have no say over this video or get to see this video before it's published. Okay, so how about we hook up these new babies to the studio? So in the box you get the Precision 6 speakers, we get all the necessary cables like the power cable and the USB cable to hook it up with our computer for the room correction and profiling. And we also get this arc measuring microphone which is needed for the room correction. And we also get a set of iLoud isolation pods, which are great to isolate the speakers from any type of furniture or table. Okay, time to do the actual room measurement. And I do recommend grabbing some kind of ear protection because it's gonna be a pretty loud signal. We're gonna measure the room with the ARC MEMS condenser microphone. A quick note, there's no bundled XLR cable with the package, so make sure you have a microphone XLR cable to connect to your measuring microphone. Right, so after the calibration and room measurement we get this frequency curve back. And that's how the ARC system is going to compensate for any faults in our environment, in our room acoustics. The blue line represents the measurement of the room acoustics prior to any compensation, and we can see we have a huge dip here at about 60 Hz, and then there's a huge boost in 100 Hz to 200 Hz, and some other anomalies. And some other anomalies in the mid-range and the top region. And then with the red line we can see how the ARC system flattens our frequencies with the room correction. And it's a lot more flat compared to our previous measurements. So how about we take a listen to a reference track, and I'm gonna bypass. You can see there's a bypass button at the top right corner, so we can bypass the room correction. Now at your end you're not gonna hear this change obviously, but after we've listened we're gonna talk about how I perceived the change prior and after applying the room correction. Right, so the bypass sound of the iLoud Precision 6 is already very nice, and and flat, but I can definitely hear that I get rid of that bump I have around 100 to 200 Hertz when I activate the room correction. And I also get the low-end definition back in those 60 to 65 Hertz. That has a really huge dip in my normal listening. Okay, so next in line I went through my favorite collection of reference music, and that includes the Ozzy Osbourne Osmosis, Metallica Black Album, we have some Meshuggah, some Periphery and Opeth, but also Steely Dan, Toto and some of the 70s rock albums. But due to copyright I can't play these tracks in the video, but what we're listening to is some music I made with some friends. And when flipping between bypass and active room correction, I can definitely say I get a lot more crisp high-end and fix in that low-end region. So it's a really nice experience when you activate the room correction. Another feature that's really sweet with the ArcX room correction system from MK2 Multimedia is that it can emulate the frequency curve of different speakers. So it defeats the need of having multiple speakers spread out all over your studio. And if you ever want to flip between these different speaker setups without the need to go to the software, you can always purchase this iLoud Precision remote controller. And I've got remote control, so 1 will dim the audio, then 2 will call up the high-end 3-way speaker system, and 3 will call up classic AMT7, and then 4 will bring us back to the default curve, or the default room correction. Okay, so for some final words on the iLoud Precision Mark II, I feel it's a great upgrade from the MTMs to the bigger Precision model. Especially due to the larger cabinet and more amplification, it suits this studio and this room better because we get obviously more power. And it's really great, it also has automatic standby mode. At the time of making this video, I have no idea what the price will be for the Precision 6 Mark IIs, but you can always look that up on the MK Multimedia website. The link will be in the description. Okay, I hope you had a nice time with me here today checking out the iLoud Precision 6 Mark II. And if you have any type of comments or questions, leave them in the comment section. As always, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like and that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.